Thanks so much for joining me in my video. So today we are going to be talking about the next video in the series of weekdays and the correspondences of the days of the week. I know it's been a minute since I've done this. I did Monday and Tuesday like almost consecutively, and then I like stopped for some odd reason. I don't know why, but I'm back. So today we're going to continue with that series with Wednesday. So Wednesday is a really interesting day of the week to work with, very unique energies to it. And Wednesday is ruled by the planet Mercury. So for those of you that do or do not know, Mercury was actually named after the Roman god of trade, merchants, and travel. I'm looking down at my notes lot, so you're gonna see me pen down because I have like my notes and everything all over. So a couple correspondences that go with Mercury. One of the biggest things about Mercury is it's all about moving up. It's very unique energies that ensure success, that ensure a level of increase in whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So I'm going to list off a couple of the correspondences that have to do with Mercury, and then we'll go into the magical things that you can do with the planet, or days of the week, that is. So, color correspondences. So Mercury is very interesting when it comes to colors. Most of the planets only have like one or two colors that are associated with them, but Mercury is a mixture of colors. And when you mix a bunch of colors together, you get brown. So with Mercury, I tend to associate it with the color brown because again, it is a mix of colors. And what's great about that is that if you're trying to do certain magic, you're color coordinating, you can mix any color that has to do with your intent, and then just do it on a Wednesday. It'll work just as fine. So as an overall encompassing color, we are doing brown, just like this little candle right here. Boop, boop. And a couple of the metals that have to do with Mercury is quicksilver and mercury. That's where it comes from. Well, the name. We don't get Mercury from the planet Mercury, no. But, so, quicksilver is really great, in workings. Be careful with mercury. Don't go like popping like old school thermometers and getting mercury from that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So those are just like the metals that are associated with it. A couple gemstones that have associations with Wednesdays and Mercury are agate, opal, Amazonian. I don't know how to pronounce it. You know what I'm saying. Bloodstones, citrines, and moss agate. So those all have correspondences that have to do with things that tie to Wednesdays and Mercury. So you can definitely use those and incorporate those into your spells. Now, for my favorite part is plants. So these are all plants that have to do with Wednesdays and Mercury. These aren't all of them. There is a plethora of plants that have ties to Wednesdays. So feel free to use any of these. These are the ones that I tend to see more commonly, whether at grocery stores or occult shops. So some of the ones that have to do with this, and you probably have some of these in your pantry right now: almonds, dill, cloves, lavender, lemongrass, mandrake, marjoram, mint, peppermint, and parsley. Again, there are more plants that have to do with Wednesdays. These are just a few that might be a little bit easy to come by. Now, when you have all these correspondences together, you can begin to mix and match them to perform certain spells that have to do with Wednesdays. So the kinds of spells that you can do on Wednesdays, these are really good to operate for eloquence and intelligence, promptitude in business. If you're curious where I'm getting these notes from, these are notes that I've taken from the Key of Solomon, one of my favorite occult books to read. I will leave a link down below for a link for Amazon, where if you want to order it, you can definitely get it from there. And of course, notes from my own personal experiences. So if my camera is shaking a bit right now, it's because my cat thought it was a good idea to play with the chair where my camera holder is, so pardon that. So what does that mean? Good to operate for eloquence and intelligence, promptitude in business. This is really good for anything that's work related, and probably my favorite spells to do when it comes to success or work related or school related manners have always been to do my spells on Wednesdays. These are really good to give yourself a good first impression. That's really important when you're applying for a job that you really want, when you're applying for schools, trying to get into a certain program. Wednesday, do your spells on Wednesdays. It gives you that good first image. That first look, that first impression is so important. Wednesdays are a great day to do spells for anything that has to do with that. If you're, heading towards graduation, if you're trying to get a promotion at your current job, again, doing your spells on Wednesdays is definitely going to help you achieve that. Now, it's also great for divination, wonders, and apparitions, and answers that regard the future. So Wednesdays are a really great day for divination, very similar to Mondays, which are ruled by the moon. So when you're doing tarot or any form of scrying and you kind of want to get a glimpse into the future, especially good to do those on Wednesdays. So any future readings, again, for tarot, scrying, pendulums, things like that, definitely try doing them on Wednesdays more often. You might, especially when it comes to future things you want to see for your future, give it a try. Let me know how that feels. It's definitely going to feel a little bit unique, different from what we're used to, because, you can do divination any day of the week. There's no rule saying that you have to do it on Wednesday or on Mondays, but every day of the week that you save and reserve for certain spells, it just really gives that extra oomph. Now, it says wonders and apparitions. This is the part that you do want to be careful with. Wonders and apparitions, this has to do a lot with spirits, with spirit working. Whether it's spirits of the dead, ancestors, earth spirits, land spirits, angelic, demonic, whatever it may be. It's a really good day to communicate with them. It's a really good day for them to appear before you. An apparition is specifically a spirit or entity that appears before you. So if you're doing any form of spirit communication, be careful if you choose to do it on a Wednesday. That spirit just may manifest and become an apparition and appear before you. It's happened to me before, and I personally don't like seeing spirits. When I'm sitting down and I see like a shadow walk past me or it just manifests in front of me, I'm kind of like, no, thank you. Don't like that. Unless I'm like prepped for it and actually asking for it. So just be careful, that is a thing. They can definitely become apparitions before you. Now, kind of like I was saying, it is really good for applying for like jobs and school life. One of the things that I wrote down, and this is again from the Key of Solomon, the hours of Mercury are good for undertaking experiments relating to games, raillery, jests, sports, and the like. So this is really good for anything that has to do with competitiveness. So if you're in a time of your life where you're in a competitive situation, again, you're applying for jobs that maybe other people are applying for. Maybe you're you're applying for grad school and, there's a lot of people that, that don't get in and only a few that do get in, or any situation that's similar to that. Wednesdays are a great day to really increase your chances. It's really good for anything that has to do with competition, with competitiveness. Now, this is also really good for anything that has to do with communication. So if you're trying to get a word across to someone, if you're trying to really relay a message to someone, whether it's, in person talking to them or you're doing a spell for it, Wednesdays are a really great day to really get that word across to them. Sometimes it's really difficult to say the right words. You don't know what to say. You're afraid that you're going to say something that you don't mean. Take a deep breath and wait for a Wednesday. Meditate Wednesday morning and you'll see. You might actually just feel a little boost of energy, clarity in your mind, and it might be easier to get your words across, to get your mind across. Now, with all of that being out of the way, here are a couple spells that you can do on Wednesdays. So if you're doing anything that's school or work related, you're trying to get into a program of sorts. Now, you know me, I'm the type of witch that candles for everything. I love candles. And anything that has to do with school, work, you can use brown. Brown will encompass anything that you want on Wednesday. But yellow and orange are also very tied to things that have to do with success, especially success in a business or in a competitive environment. So if you're trying to get into a grad program, you're trying to get into a certain school, trying to get a job, a promotion, maybe you're trying to win a court case, that's also competitive. Maybe you're trying to get a lease on an apartment, on a home, on a car, things where there's multiple people that are involved. Try burning a yellow or an orange candle. You'd be surprised what that can do. And that's all you have to do. As simple as just burning the candle on a Wednesday can really help you out big time. Now, if you really want to add like some oomph, you really want to add like that extra strength using herbs and crystals, Citrine, moss agate, bloodstone, amazonite, opal, and agate. Those all are great for competitive situations. So you can just have one near your spell to add energy and influence. And if you want to dress your candle with an herb, I highly recommend doing parsley, mint, and lemongrass or cloves. Those are really good to dress your candles with, or to use like in mojo bags or other spells like that. Again, to give you a boost, to give you that really good energy, especially in competitive environments. So yellow, again, is really great for success and really increasing your odds. And then orange is more so tied to business success, and it's really tied to positive outcomes. Again, if you don't have orange or yellow, feel free to use brown. If you don't have brown, remember, white is all encompassing. The white candle encompasses every color, So don't fret if you don't have brown, yellow, or orange. Just look for a white candle. It could even be a simple tea light. Do I have a tea light? I do. One that's already almost burnt out. It could be as simple as a little tea light like this. Again, white is a great substitute for any color. So it's really great for that. If you're trying to do anything that has to do with spirit work, with divination or things like that, I highly recommend just using a solid brown or a white candle on Wednesdays, especially if you're doing future tarot readings or any type of divination that has to do with the future. And if you're doing anything that has to do with spirit summoning or spirit conjuring, I highly recommend having a yellow candle. It's very attractive and appealing to spirits, but you also want to have something protective. So remember, whenever you're working with spirits, you always want to protect yourself first. Even if you're working with good spirits, always protect yourself first. So again, with Wednesdays, competitiveness, very, very big in the mundane with a little bit of kick in the spiritual. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you're kind of going back to good communication, if you feel like you're struggling with someone, you're trying to say the right words to say to someone, whether it's someone you have beef with or it's someone that you've been with in a relationship and you really want to open up communication, try having a yellow candle. Yellow candles are amazing for opening up the doorway for communication, especially between people. So if you're in a situation where, again, you can't get across to your partner, a friend, maybe someone's not understanding you and you just feel misunderstood, try lighting a yellow candle for that. You can write the name of your target and, light your candle. You can dress this with mint. Mint is really good for opening the doorway to communication. So is lemongrass. Lemongrass and parsley are also really good for establishing a good link with someone or a spirit. But you can dress your candle with any one of those. And as that candle is burning, pray over it. If you're struggling with a partner and you're just not, connecting, you're not able to understand each other, just take some time and speak over it. By this candle and this root, which root is a key word for herbs or plants, by this root, I establish good communication. The doorways of communication are open. I am understood. They are understood, etc., etc. So that's a really good, simple spell that you can do. Again, if you don't have access to the plants, you can just use the candle. If you don't have the candles, listen, you don't have to do candle magic with these. Let's say all you have is mint. You just randomly have mint lying around and you want to do something for communication. Just have some mint with you. You can pray over the mint, the spirit of the earth on this mint. Help me establish good communication. I speak and open the doorways of communication between me and my partner, blah, blah, blah. And you can just take it outside and bury it. That's literally all you have to do. Or you can burn it. Just get it, dry out some mint and just burn it and burn it as like an incense on a Wednesday. And you'll start to see that as you do that continuously, because remember, spells are not just a one and done deal all the time. Sometimes you have to continue the work. Communication takes work. It takes discipline. It takes time to really open them. So create a schedule for yourself. Once or twice a month on a Wednesday, burn some mint, light a yellow, a brown, or an orange candle. Create a routine for yourself, and you'll start to see those changes happening in regards to the correspondences of Wednesday. Now, there's a whole lot more things that you can do on Wednesdays. I'm not going to get too much into it. You have the correspondences, you have the colors, you kind of have a basic of the energies and magics that you can do on Wednesdays. The tools are there for you to do as you please. Feel free to experiment. Mix the candles together, mix the herbs, the stones, the magic behind Wednesdays, behind Mercury. mix, your intent with it, and find something that works for you. Find something that you feel positive about, you get a good vibration off it, and then continue the work for a week or two. And you'll start to see a good shift in energy. You'll start to see things beginning to move into your favor. Remember, Mercury is good for changing things into your favor. All right, my beautiful witches, that's pretty much all I have for you today on Wednesdays and doing spells on Wednesdays. If there's anything else that you know about Wednesdays that you want to leave below, something I may have missed, feel free to comment down below. I would appreciate any wisdom. Just like you folks can learn from me, I'm always learning from you. If you don't already follow my Instagram, what are you doing? Go ahead and follow. I'll leave that information down below. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel to get more content. All right, have a good night. Please stay safe. And as always, blessed be.